For EMS, we incorporated with this with the health and safety as well as with the quality. No? And our ISO or EMS certification now is at the 2015, the latest version. So we make sure that this certification is being attained to ensure that programs and initiatives are verified by external party. At least we are also confident that this particular program are aligned also to the international standards. The compliance obligations are audited. If you know, as the plans have several applicable laws and regulations, and we identify all those applicable laws and regulations. We pick out all the sections that are mostly applicable, and we created a compliance obligation list. And under this compliance obligation list, we also implement projects and programs. We also invest to make sure that those obligations are being complied and in place. It's a mandatory requirement. And the ISO also ensures that operational controls that we are implementing, aside from the environmental impact assessment that we are conducting, are aligned with the standards. Nito siyang standard na follow the if you are track or not. Okay. And of course, all plant developments will undergo an environmental impact assessment. We are also engaged right now with green transport. Basically, ang existing na nato for 5 years na is the monitoring and management of the turnaround of trucks. No? This is to control the use of fuel. The more use of fuel, the more emissions. No? And if you know, 17% of the emissions coming from our transport, because we deliver cement through trucks, more ang delivery on land. No? Than wala tayo delivery kayo on air, but more yun siya on land. No? And we set a target for fuel use per truck turned around. And we monitor this monthly, and start the key performance indicator. Right now, since last year, actually, we are exploring for a hybrid vehicle or trucks. I hope na nag technology for hybrid trucks, no? But early this year, naman yung mga current proposals, but I think negotiations are not yet closed, no? Because we are still in the process of studying this and how the pastor really can make sure a delivery in long distances. Fugitive dust controls is part of it, because in a cement plant, it's not only from the sources that may contribute to pollution also. Fugitive dust control is part of the program, like completing of unpaved access roads, the road water sprinkling, misting, especially in the stockpiles of raw material. We use vacuum cleaner in cleaning our large equipments, areas, silos. And the tenant street sweeper actually is a mobile street sweeper. Aside from conducting a manual street sweeping after the testing, it's more effective to run the tenant street sweeper. To identify hotspots and include in the hotspot status report to monitor progress of the actions taken. So, actually, kami siya as part of the environmental task force. Hotspots are being discussed and highlighted during the progress report meeting every month. Renewable power treatment is one of the program of settings under now in 2019 actually there is an ongoing study of the solar power for our second competition. Nanami proposed area ongoing ang iyahang since 2019 ongoing yun how effective ang paggamit ng mga solar power to run a certain equipment. So nasa on-site karon as a support to run a certain equipment. And hopefully to complete the study by the early of 2022. And of course, to negotiate to put up this particular solar power for our cement operations. Other initiative is the greening project. If you know, since 1999, we're engaged with tree planting activities, and we have already fully old grown trees, and we partnered Cemex Mexico in conducting the carbon sequestration study. So there is an ongoing study right now, carbon sequestration, particularly on all the planted trees as well as the natural grown trees in different areas of the cement plant and quarries. No? This study actually will compute, no, the volume or the number of CO2 that is being sequestered for each of the plant. No? So identification of plant species. No? We hire actually a third party expert on this, no? With the assistance of Global CEMEX team to make sure that the study will run. No? And we will pattern for the incoming also tree planting activity as we monitor the fully grown trees, 6 months, 1 year, or more than a year, no? From old, we will use the same formula, no, in computing carbon sequestration, and we'll include already in the reporting for our national greening project and the Adapa Mining Forest program, no, the number of the kilograms of CO2 sequestered in a particular number of trees or hectares of trees in a particular area. So this is one of the recent projects that we have just implemented within this year, 2022. 2021, and hopefully to complete by the year 2022. Okay, so I think that's all now with some of the programs of Apo Second Plan, and hopefully you can pattern one of those, that very specifically if you already see the people, no, well, the CO2 emission reduction, especially, no, since this is a direction also in our campaign to reduce the CO2 emission, and each of the, especially in each of the initiative that you are computing the reduction, it's very visible. So, very, very challenging, but then also very exciting to implement. Okay, so if you have any questions.
Thank you, Ma'am Jen. Do you hear us, Ma'am Jen? So is there any questions with regards to the presentation of Ma'am Genevieve? The floor is kanang open, and actually other presenter ganina, kung na may mga questions, it's time for kanang cater mo sa mga questions ninyo sa katong presentation with regards to RA Clean Air Act. The presentation of Ma'am Daisy, as well as the presentation on ozone-depleting substances. So we still have time for the question and answer for yes, ma'am. Ma'am Jen, standby lang sa Ma'am Jen, ha? Oh, before we proceed, allow us, the IE Ma'am Jen, to give you the certificate of appreciation. The virtual lang sa iato ang i-present sa imo, ha? Amo lang niyang ikuan. Ini kakitaan nato. So, let us present the certificate of appreciation to Engineer Genevieve Patalinghog for CEMEX Philippines for sharing her expertise as one of the resource speakers during the Nurture Nature for a Sustainable Future Forum conducted in celebration of the Clean Air Month, Environmental Awareness Month, as well as the Climate Change Consciousness Week this November 10, 2021 at Golden Prince Hotel, given this 10th day of November 2021, and it will be signed by our regional director, Lormeline E. Claudio Sesto for a round of applause, please. As well as Ma'am Jen, naasa Midiri Patoken. Si BG. ipakita lang namo sa nimo Ma'am Jen ang imuhang token of appreciation. Parehas ni Ma'am Daisy, and it will be given sa inyo. Okay, so let's go back to the question and answer. Na ating raise hand ganina. Oh, yun una. Ladies first lang. Ladies first.
Hello. A pleasant morning to the Environmental Management Bureau, Region 7, and on behalf of UC Manila, I would like to thank for this opportunity for letting us learn from your expertise and from the sharings of other partners. I am from the University of Cebu, Manila, and I am from the National Service Training Program. The NSTP program of UC Manila is focusing on the Civic Welfare Training Program. CWTS has several dimensions, and one of the dimensions mentioned is on environmental protection. So the presentation this morning is really relevant to the implementation of our program. I have just one question from the GBP. Hello, ma'am. Good morning. When you share your best practices, I have noticed that we have some common projects. We only differ on the level of implementation, scale of implementation. So, for GBP, probably it's company-wide, and ours in the classroom, so it's more on the individual homes and our adapted barangays, and of course, the barangays where our students are residing. So, I got struck of your project since UC also has University of Cebu also has a project entitled Stewardship, and it seems that we have the same goal, reaching of a minimum of 1 million trees, fruit-bearing trees. And I would like to add, and since you mentioned a while ago that GBP is willing to accommodate partnerships, so I would like to ask if you are willing to accept us as your partner in some programs, which our respective communities, our students are not only from the Cebu City, but also they are also located from other parts of the country. So I would like to ask if you are willing to accept us as one of your programs in our community extensions projects. And if yes, you mentioned a while ago that you would just like to request a letter, and to whom shall we address the letter? Thank you so much.
Okay, so thank you so much, Ma'am Mo, nga I-appreciate ni mo among initiative, especially for the tree planting. Actually, for sa amo agang tree planting, for the community tree planting, yes, we can partner with you. But for the project base, kaya we have project base and community tree planting, ma'am. So for the project base, kaya we are partnering with the PO, mga people's organization. And then for the community planting, we will partner with any stakeholders who are willing to partner with us. So we will talk it na lang later, discuss it later na lang, ma'am, and then I'll give you na lang the person whom you like to contact. Nice kayo. Thank you.
Wow, see? This is an opportunity for us to work together. Partnerships, build partnerships and enhance what has been started already. Thank you so much, and UC Manila. Let's proceed with the next question, please. Sir, please let us know where you are connected. Alright, thank you so much. Definitely UC and GBP will talk over lunch. No? Magstorya tao. Apin na lang kunin mo ang taga-EMD. Apin na magiging. Okay. Yes, sir.
Good morning.
Ay, yes, sir.
Mo siya, ladies first. Pag-ladies mo,
Definitely.
Anyway, I'm Alan Dinango from Cebu Climate Change Association Inc. Ang question ako is for Daisy and for Genevieve. Jen? Cebu?
Zoom, sir.
As a Zoom. You mentioned in your presentation about SEMS. How many times per year mali ay na need mo SEMS? At the same time, is your SEMS connected to EMB?
Actually, for the SEMS compliance, we have the memorandum circular that we as power generating, kato mga large industries nga na-identify for AMP who is generating, specific for power plant, mga cement factories, they require you to install continuous emission monitoring system. So there's a particular exit, ilang mo kayo ba o sa itong exit, nga i-connect yun siya sa EMB and the central office
So,
for
interface.
monitoring. Yes.
Interface.
So, real time pa yun na siya, sir.
Can EMB provide us with the interface result from the SEMS with those big industries? Beko,
Yes, in fact, sir, if you go to the EMB central office, sa EMB regional office, makita ninyo ang katong monitoring nila dito. So, na dito ang per company. So, usami dito na starting.
Thank you, Days.
Okay.
Hi, Jen, are you there? Sige na lang, tatanong sa gabi. Anyway, next na po ang question. Are you thinking of changing from coal to alternative fuel? Because I have a proposal na lang, no? I'm into a project, actually, ibuhata para akong study with my master's karon, masters na pa karon. Alternative fuel, alternative for coal, which is ipil-ipil, no? Ang ipil-ipil has a heating value, BTU, almost the same as coal, and it's cheaper than coal. And we can provide volume because we have a big plantation somewhere sa north. And i-experiment na siya sa pan. I talked to Leah about it, pero wak kayo siya
Sige, sir. I think you have to brought it up sa among management siguro. But for now, kay naami mga diversion, no? Like that.
Proposal for related to alternative fuel. Actually, as long as the alternative fuel will pass the acceptance criteria, no? If you know there is an acceptance criteria as per
based na daw.
and also the quality standards, cement plant, no, on that particular alternative fuel. Pwede rin yun na natin gawato, no? You can just introduce that to us, and if you can provide volume much better, no? In fact, kanang mga